Death may be one of the greatest teachers that we will ever see in our life. I mean, it's funny, you think the two most important things that we have to do here in this lifetime are what we've already done, if you're watching this video, which is be born, and then what we are still to do, which is to die. And death is something that we often cast aside. We dismiss it, we deny it, we avoid it, we pretend it's not lingering in the back of our minds. We act like it's something, you think when you're young, I have a whole life ahead of me, or if you have a loved one that's healthy, you think, oh, death is nothing to worry about here. But death can strike like that. And I think a lot of us see death is one of those things where it's hard to really work with to a great extent, because a lot of us don't really experience a great deal of death in the entirety of our lives. It's something that only comes around every once in a great while, at least hopefully. See, and I say hopefully because it's such a horrendous thing to deal with. But what I want to try to offer in this video is an alternative perspective in seeing death. Now, I do want to say as a sort of disclaimer that what I'm about to offer to you is not some sort of make death awesome and okay forever. But it's to sort of try and reduce, or let's just say distill down the negativity, the negative tonality that we have towards death, and to try and get from it a deeper quality of love, of transcendence, of compassion, and mainly here, a perspective that allows you to step forward with growth and compassion in your heart. Now see, as I was saying a moment ago, death is the thing where we aren't really able to work with it to a great extent. I mean, this is relative here, because if you're somebody who works in a line, has a career that's in the line of work of working with people who are dying a lot, where you see death a lot, or maybe you were involved in war or some sort of crime where a great deal of death happened around you. Those are the kind of outliers that have dealt with death a lot. But I think generally speaking here, if you're anything like me, I think a lot of us, we don't experience a lot of it throughout our life. It's kind of a here and there thing, where a loved one here dies, a pet there dies, then there's an interval of time and then another person dies, and some of the people that die don't really have a deep impact on you. And that's another really interesting thing that I want to touch on here, is how, you ever had somebody that passed away in your life and it didn't really bother you? And then you had somebody pass away who maybe you weren't even as close with, and it just rocked your entire world. You felt empty, lost, despairing, no direction, hopeless. There's no real way of determining how we're going to respond to death when it manifests itself in our life. Now, the reason I'm making this video right now is because my grandfather died this morning. And I don't really know how I feel about it. Obviously, it's not awesome. But at the same time, there's this quality within me of being glad that he's shed this human body. There's also a tinge of it's awesome that he gets to be in the dimension of wherever we go. Because I'll tell you right now, and I bet you I'm going to lose some of you as I say this, I don't feel like he doesn't exist anymore. I don't have the feeling or any sort of inclination whatsoever that my grandfather doesn't exist. He didn't go anywhere. He left his body. Now see, this is where I want to tie in the sort of alternative perspective that may help you to deal with death in a different way, to see it in a different light, and to put a different face to it. Hopefully a face that helps you to move forward with strength and faith in whatever this wonderful mystery of life is. So if I were to ask you, why is death hard? What would you say? Why is losing somebody you love hard? It's because they're no longer there in the form that they have always been, which is the form that you've loved for so long. Like my grandfather, my sweet, sweet papa is what I called him. For my entire life, I have known him as that which animates through his body. But see, I've come to understand over the 10 years that I've been involved with spirituality that what I love about Papa is not Papa's body. What I love is Papa, my grandfather, which is transcendent of the body. What I loved in my grandfather is that which animated his body. His body is merely a vessel. I say merely, but I mean it in the sense that it's not who he is. The body is like a spacesuit. We're wearing it. We're renting these bodies so that we can do work here on this three-dimensional plane of reality that we call life. And see, all of my life, I have known and loved my grandfather as being that body. But now, my grandfather has left that body. And that body, I think he wants to be cremated. But nevertheless, you can't get away from it that that body that I called Papa is going to return to nature. And so am I. And so are you. But see, now, as I was saying a moment ago, what is it that's hard about death? Why does it suck that my grandfather has passed away? Well, if I am to ask myself that question, what sucks is that I can't love him in the way that I've always loved him. I can't hug him. I can't do our handshake. I can't have another game of cribbage with him. I can't watch Wheel of Fortune with him. I can't go on a walk with him. I can't help him stack wood anymore. I can't joke around with him. I can't hear his voice. I can't hear his laugh anymore. Because all of that comes through the body. But see, let me ask you this. Who is it that's laughing? When my grandfather would laugh, what's laughing? Him, right? It's coming through his body, but he is the one who laughs. When I talk to my grandfather, who's talking to me? Him. The body isn't talking to me. He's using his body to speak to me. So what I'm saying here is that what I loved in him was not his body, but that which manifested and animated through his body, which was Papa. And now he's left that body. And in a way, he's one up to me. He's one up to life. He's transcended life. Where us, in these meat suits, in these space suits, not able to know what happens when we die, or where we go, or what happens, or if anything, and so on, we don't know where they go. I don't know where the hell my grandfather is. But let me tell you this. I don't feel like he doesn't exist. Who was it that said energy cannot be created nor destroyed? So you think about your entire life, and all your pain and all your hardship and all the love and the beauty and the courage and the fear and the romance and the dreams and the creating what you want and the setbacks and then the different chapters of your life and all of it. That's all energy. Your life is energy. And do you really think, let's get real for a moment here, do you really think that when you die, this meant nothing? Does that really resonate with you? Even if it's just a tinge of a spark of curiosity within you, don't you think that maybe this life is the preparation for something beyond it? I don't think that when we die, it's lights out, as everybody says. It's okay if you think that. It's okay if maybe that's what happens. But if you're to ask me, what do I think? I think something happens. Because there's no doubt in my mind that if this is possible right now, the fact that you're sitting here watching this video and this life is happening, there isn't even the whisper of a doubt in my mind that something just as magnificent, if not more, will play out when we leave our bodies. So now, it sucks that my grandfather has died. There's a heavy dimension within it that it sucks, it blows, it's not cool. I'm sad. I'll never get to see him again in his body, so far as I know. But see, here's the thing. Although my entire life I've loved my grandfather in the form of his body, by loving him in the form of his body alone, that creates a finite boundary of the way in which I love him. Where all I love about my grandfather is the body that he's animating through. But see, when somebody we love so dearly leaves their body, it begins what I call the find me now test. My grandfather leaves his body at 3:25 a.m. this morning. And indirectly he says to me in that, if you really love me, find me now. Where'd I go? If you really love me, can you love me without me being in my body? Now see, grief, as I've described it in the past, grief is a form of love in reverse. Grief is the unraveling of that which we built with somebody we love. Where the process of grief and mourning that me and everybody in my family is going to go through in response to my grandfather leaving his body is the face of love. You ever noticed how you don't grieve over somebody you don't love? You might feel bad. You might say, rest in peace. You might say, I'm sorry for your loss to your friend or your whatever. But in a way, it doesn't bother you. You don't grieve over it. Because there's not a connection to it. You don't love that being in the way that you love those who, you would call your loved ones. So grief is a direct result of love. So that's the first takeaway here, is that if you're watching this video and perhaps you're grieving the loss of a loved one, or maybe you still haven't yet gathered yourself from the last loved one that died, whether it was a friend or a family member or a partner or a pet or whatever, coworker, whatever, I want you to know that your grief is a direct result of your love. The depth of your grief, the depth of your pain, of your sorrow, of your despair, of your depression is directly proportionate to the depth to which you loved that person who has left. So don't mess with yourself here and try and push away and belittle and invalidate and deny how you feel. Because what you're doing by doing so is saying, I don't really care. My grief doesn't matter. What you're saying by pushing away your grief is what you're doing is you're pushing away the part of you that cares that they died. So get that out of your head, that you need to get through the grief as fast as possible. And not only with death, but you think of a relationship where it comes to an end. We try to get our shit together as ASAP, as soon as possible, and get over it and be better. But we don't realize that the grieving process in losing that partner is a sort of unraveling of the love that we built with them. The legacy of love that we built together. So don't push your grief away. Because it's a serving force in reminding you of the love that you had for that thing. But see, here's the real testament. I called it the Find Me Now test. My grandfather's not in his body anymore. I can't love him as that old man that I've known my whole life. But see, now I get to love my grandfather in a way I've never loved him before. My grandfather, no more than 16 hours ago, was laying in a hospital bed a couple towns away from me right now. And now, that's not where he is. He's not in that body anymore. I don't even know where that body is or what the hell they're doing with it. It's not my grandfather though, I know that. They're going to probably preserve it for a time and then cremate it. And we're all going to sort of worship these ashes as a sort of ceremonial ritual of the love that we had for Papa, for my grandfather. But see, there's something in the back of my mind that knows that's not my grandfather in the form of those ashes. Wherever his body is right now, that's not my grandfather. My grandfather was that which animated the body. And through the natural process of this wild ride we're on called life, there comes a time when we all stop animating our human bodies. The spacesuits that we're renting. So now, what I love about my grandfather is not that body that is a couple towns away from me. What I love is now everywhere. My love for my grandfather is no longer limited to that body. What this does is it allows me to love him wherever I am. Wherever I am, there he is. Right now, my grandfather is present in this moment. Right now, those that you loved that have passed and left their bodies are here with you when you think of them. Because they're not locked in the prison of the body. Your love becomes transcendent when they die. This is the greatest form of love that we could ever gift to anything. My grandfather is free from the body, which allows me to love him in a way that is transcendent of the condition of being with him physically. So now, I can see my grandfather in a cloud, in a drop of rain. You know the Highwayman song? Or I may simply be a single drop of rain, but I will remain, and I'll be back again, and again, and again. I can see him in a drop of rain. I can feel him in the wind, or the smell of a flower, or the breeze blowing, or the ocean waves crashing on the seashore. He's not in his body anymore. He's wherever the hell I am. Because I'm still alive. And I love my grandfather. But my grandfather has left his body. So what that means is, you ask yourself, what is it that I love now? What do you love now? Okay, I love my grandfather, so he's not in his body anymore. So what does that mean? What do I love right now? And it's intrinsic in realizing that what I love is not his body. What I love is him. Whatever the spirit was that danced through his body for 88 years. And now I've been gifted and blessed with the capability and the possibility to love him for the rest of my life, free of the conditions of his body. Yeah, it sucks that I can't hug him, or go hang out with him, or hear his voice. And that's something that's probably going to ripple through me in waves of shock and grief and despair and pain and denial and all of it. And I'm not going to deny that, because I understand that that's a natural process of the unraveling of the love. That's what grief is, as we were talking about a moment ago. But I also know that my grandfather was not limited to that body. And now I get to create a deeper, more divine, more transcendent relationship with my grandfather solely because he's left his body. What you love is not the body of your loved one or of the pet that passes away. That's not what you loved. What you loved is that which animates through it. See this right here? This right here is my little kitty cat. Her name is Arabella. And I know that she's not this body. She's dancing through this body. But I get the privilege to love her in this form right now. But see, there's going to come a time when she leaves that body. Assuming that I don't leave my body first. That's another fun part of this dance of life, is we don't know what the hell is coming or when it's coming. But see, when Arabella leaves her body, my cat, it'll be the same thing as my grandfather. Now I get to know Arabella in a deeper way, a more personal way, a more intimate way, a more infinite way, a more infinite way. One that is not contingent upon being in the presence of the body of that which you loved. Now, your connection with that being who has died and left their body is as close and personal to you as your very thoughts, feelings, emotions, and spirit right now. Say in your mind right now, I. Say, I. 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 Say it in your mind. That's how close your loved ones are when they've left their bodies. They are right here. They didn't go anywhere. There's a beautiful story that the Indian saint Ramana Maharshi, when he was dying of cancer, all his devotees around him were sobbing and weeping, saying Bhagwan, which is just like great, it's like a reverent name for Indian saints. Bhagwan, please don't leave us, don't go. And Ramana Maharshi, this enlightened, zonked out being, said, don't be silly. Where could I go? I'm just dropping my body. Don't get fed up on the vehicle. The way I've often heard it described is when a loved one is about to die, it's like your friend saying, yo, I'm selling my Chevy, bro. And you go, oh, don't sell your Chevy, don't sell your Chevy. They're like, why not, bro? It's just the vehicle. Now, the reason I call it the Find Me Now test is because it's asking you, do you have what it takes to love who you love even without their body? Or are you going to think they don't exist anymore? Are you going to have to move on and forget about it? Or do you think maybe there's a way of learning how to love them in a different way? Love them in, as I said a moment ago, a more divine way. A way that is more transcendent of physical time and space. You know the mystery, that feeling of mystery and fear that sort of looms over when it comes to death? What is that? It's the reality of divinity, of spirit. Realizing that we don't know, simply put, what the hell is going on here. We don't know what this life is. We don't even know who we are. We don't know what love is and life and death and any of it. We don't know what the hell's going on. We're just getting by. We're just here. These tiny little things growing on the surface of a tiny little speck in this vast, seemingly infinite void of darkness. Like, have you ever sat down and thought about it for a minute? Have you ever taken a moment to appreciate the depth of emotion that you can feel in this tiny little body that you have? Like, zoom out for a minute and realize how big the universe is. The galaxies and the black holes and the superstars and whatever, all of it. All of it. My girlfriend is really, really fascinated in this stuff and would really get at me here about my terminology and shit. But it's big. It's big. And then think about what you feel inside of you, this tiny, tiny little speck, this little microcosm that's here for just a little blink of an eye in relative to the length of time that the universe has seemingly been happening, right? Think about what you experience on a day-to-day basis. Think about what you've been through. Think about your emotions, your heartbreak, your love, your grief, your happiness, your dreams, your plans, your ambition, your fear, your anger. All of it, bruh. All happening in this tiny little spacesuit. And our time is going to come where we leave our bodies. We don't know how it's going to happen. But I'm under the impression that not a single one of us leaves the stage of life too soon or in a way that was an accident or a mistake. My grandfather's death this morning at 3:25 was in perfect accordance with the entire universe. There's not a single thing wrong with it. I'm not mad about it. It sucks. But it's life. It's what we're a part of here. And I can see that this is all the play of God. See, my grandfather dying, to me, is a manifestation of Kali, a Hindu goddess. Now, see, I can flip that on its head and say that Kali is a manifestation of death. But it doesn't really matter here. The idea is that when I see Kali, I even have a cat named Kali. She's somewhere around here. Kali is that which we don't like. It's that what we don't want. It's impermanence, it's fear, it's pain, it's murder, it's blood, it's gore, it's death, it's the bad. Now you think, why would you worship a goddess that represents all that sucks, all that's bad? Well, it's because I have a deeper understanding that that is a part of reality, bruh. And I would rather be a holistic being living in accordance with everything than a lopsided being that is just like talking about light and rainbows and love and light and affirmations while I'm simultaneously terrified of the other face of the same coin that we call life. So I honor Kali. I revere Kali. I worship Kali. My grandfather dying, that's Kali. There she is again, man. Ooh, look at her. Took my grandfather. Whoa. I wonder who's next. I wonder what's going to happen next. You see? It's far out. It's fierce. It's ferocious. But it's life. And if we can begin to get down with the depth of life and realize that we have the capability to love somebody even after they've left their body in a form that is more transcendent and more omnipresent than we could have ever imagined loving them in. We are incarnations of such power, of such spirit, of such magic, of such mystery. It's hilarious how wild this ride is. Life is a training ground. And in the context that we're talking about right now, of a loved one leaving their body, they're asking you, find me now. Can you love me even without my body? Do you have what it takes to find me now that I've left my body? It's a game of hide and seek. And the fun part here is now they're everywhere. They're everywhere. Wherever you are, there they are. So that's really what I wanted to emphasize for you in this video today, is that although it sucks that they've left their body and you can no longer love them in the way you've always loved them, now you have a sort of advantage. If you're able to see it in a certain way, if you're able to look at it from a certain angle, you'll be able to love that being who has died in a way that is not only more fulfilling, but it's infinite. It's not conditional. It's not dependent on being with them physically. Now, they're everywhere, and you have the ability to love them everywhere and in every single moment. They're the trees, they are the stars, they are the wind, they are the breeze, they are the ocean, they are the lake, they are in the song you listen to at night laying in your bed crying your eyes out. There they are. They're not in their body anymore. They are one with God. They are one with spirit. So stop beating yourself up. Stop trying to get over your grief. And also, stop telling yourself that they don't exist anymore. Stop telling yourself that they're gone forever. We don't know what's going to happen when we die. And also, as I've been saying, now you have the opportunity to love them in a way you could have never imagined loving them before. You have the opportunity to love them in every single moment, independent of a body. So I hope you vibe with what I'm saying here. Death is wild. Life is wild. We're on a wild ride right now, guys. And I hope you're well. I hope you're taking it easy on yourself and those around you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, before you click off, leave a like, because it helps these videos a lot. And if this is your first time on the channel, and this resonates with you, go to my channel and subscribe, because I post stuff like this every single week. It's what I love. It's what I do. And if it helps you even a little bit, that's what it's all about. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.